We sort of have pagination working, except that the number of pages and items per page are hard-coded. Oh, and we're always returning every daily stats no matter which page we're on. Okay, so it's not really working, but we're close. There are two things that we need to know inside of Daily Stats Paginator. We need to know what the current page is, which is normally in the URL, and the max results per page that we should be showing. If we had these two pieces of info, we could fill in all of the methods. Since these are sort of options that control the behavior of our paginator, let's force them to be passed in via the constructor. Add int current page and int max results arguments to the constructor. I'll even add a comma to separate them. Next, hit Alt-Enter and go to Initialize Properties to create those two properties and set them. Sweet! Now in getCurrentPage, return this arrow current page. And in getItemsPerPage, return this arrow max results. And we even have enough info to complete the other methods. For getLastPage, I'll paste in a calculation. This returns the ceiling of the total items divided by the max items per page. And if that equals 0 because there are no results, return 1. Next, in getTotalItems, return this arrow stats helper arrow count. That method returns the total number of results, not just the results on this page. Finally, in getIterator, we need to figure out which results we should show based on the current page. We'll do that by calculating a limit and offset. Say offset equals, and I'll paste in another calculation. The offset is the current page minus 1 times the items per page. Now, for fetchMany, this accepts limit and offset arguments. Pass it the limit, this arrow get items per page, and then offset. Phew! Our paginator is now 100% ready. To test it, open Daily Stats Provider. We now need to pass it the current page and the max items per page. To start, let's hardcode these. Pretend we're on page 1 and we want to show 3 items per page so that pagination is really obvious. Let's see what it looks like. Refresh the page and awesome! 3 results, 30 total items, which is correct. And we're currently on page 1. Next is page 2, and it will take us 10 pages to get through all 30 results. Our paginator is alive! All we need to do now is remove these hard-coded values. So how do we figure out what the current page is, or the max items per page that we should be showing? We could just choose any number we want and put it here for the max items. And in a project, that would be fine. But technically, the max items per page is something that is configurable via the API resource annotation. And even the query parameter that's used for pagination can be changed. It doesn't need to be $page equals. My point is, we don't need to hard code the max per page or read the page query parameter directly because API Platform already has this info. Where? It's hiding inside a service called pagination, a service that we can autowire. Add a second argument to Daily Stats Provider, pagination, the one from Data Provider, and call it pagination. I'll hit Alt-Enter and go to Initialize Properties to create that property and set it. Okay, pagination is an object that knows everything about the current pagination situation. So it has methods like getPage and getOffset, which is calculated from the current page and max items per page. We're going to use a kind of strange method called getPagination, which returns 3 pieces of info as an array. Check it out. Use the odd function list to create 3 variables, page, offset, and limit, and set this to this arrow pagination arrow get pagination passing resource class and operation name. Notice that there is a third argument, context. I'm not going to pass that simply because I don't have context in this method. But if you did want to support the full features of the pagination system, there are a few edge cases where pagination changes based on the context. Then make your class implement context-aware collection data provider interface, which allows you to have a context argument on get collection. Anyways, hold Command or Control to jump into the get pagination method. This returns an array containing the current page, the offset, and the limit. We're using the strange list function as a quick way to create 3 new variables: page set to the array's 0 index, offset set to the 1 index, and limit set to the 2 index. Thanks to this, below, we can use page and limit. We don't actually need offset because we're calculating that ourselves. Let's see if it works. Move over, refresh, and this time, it looks like it's not paginating at all. The problem is that API Platform allows 30 items per page by default, and our JSON file has, 30 items in it. Let's limit this to showing 7 results per page. To do that, go over to Daily Stats and pass a new option: pagination items per page set to 7. This is why we read the max per page, which is the limit, from API Platform's pagination object instead of hard-coding it. Now, when we move over and try it, beautiful! 7 items and 5 pages total. Say hello to our home-rolled pagination. Next, we have our get item and get collection operations working, even with pagination. Let's see if we can get the put operation to work so that we can update Daily Stats data.